When last we left off, the party died. Well, they all got knocked unconscious and one person died. Alas, poor Tia. So yeah, last session did not go well. And we discussed doing some downtime activities, but the party has declined this. So we are going to start off less than a minute after the previous session ended. I rolled randomly to see who is going to be awakened. And Ulnan, you wake up with 1 hit point in a temple. You can see followers of Charo around you. Your companions are up front with you, and priest is standing over you, and he waves at a line of 6 dead bodies, and he says, "Time is short. Do any of these who have fallen in the city warrant the use of a rather expensive diamond to bring them back to life?"
He scans the people. He sees Tia and her.
He turns away from you and casts a spell of Revivify, and Tia is brought back to life just before she would have been lost forever.
What? What happened?
Our discussions went poorly.
I was just standing there, and all of a sudden there was pain, and then I was awake, and then there was pain. And then I was here.
There was a god in the other group, and he decided that Tempest needed to be eliminated, and you were collateral damage, it looks like.
These gods don't have much care for mortal life, do they?
I had thought from Tempest's example that they did. I'm not so sure now.
He's the only one that I have seen that did. Brian?
Yes.
Do we get any more info about what happened in the rest of the town?
Not at this time. You can see that there are 2 priests and a paladin up at the front with you. You look side to side and you see dead bodies on either side of you, and the rest of your companions, other than Ulnan, are still unconscious at 0 hit points.
Can you heal them, Ulnan, at all?
I will do a healing light on each of them.
Didn't you use those in the battle?
Oh, when I load it up, it's showing me fully loaded up, so I think you're right, though.
Yeah, I remember you commenting in the last session that you had used your last one. The priest says, "Worry not. We have more than enough strength to bring your friends back. However, I was told by my brothers here that attempts to bring you to earlier left you to a rather violent state, and combat was initiated as soon as you gained wakefulness. So it was decided to bring you all here in an unconscious state."
I am pretty sure my traveling companions will be much calmer now.
And I'm sorry, I'm not very aware of what you're talking about.
Before I bring them back, I have some questions. These 2, and he points to the 2 on the left, are known to us as followers of a rabble-rouser in town. But I do not know these 3, and he points at Gorkle, Maliki, and Tempest. What brought about all of this violence between your groups?
As I understand it, these 3 and one over there are siblings having something of a quarrel.
Quite the quarrel that left a family dead.
Ulnan will just nod at that.
Well, to be honest, we appreciate your efforts, which is why my brothers brought you to the temple in the first place. The one known as Tyr had been beginning to amass a following here in Redton, and they were becoming rather unruly, taking a heavy hand and the law in their own hands. It was more than we could handle on our own, so I appreciate the efforts.
Can I make a religion check about Tyr?
Sure. You're not really familiar with them.
Ryan, do I get new divination rolls or use the same ones that happened before I was killed?
That's a good question.
Kind of a new day in lots of ways for me.
It's true. Sure, you can make new divination rolls.
Okay, that's going to be handy for some other things, but not great for right now.
Yeah, 1 and a 6.
So who is this Tyr?
I am uncertain where he came from, to be honest. There was a night of some meteor activity, and we of Charot had an ill feeling about it, portent of some disruption. And it was not long after before we received word of this stranger in town. They thought little of it at first, but as he gained followers and strange magical items, they appeared to become more brazen. The city has been going through difficult times of late. Guards have abandoned their posts, and it has been up to the church to take on a great many responsibilities that are not usually our own. Our paladins have been patrolling the town, breaking up fights. There has been illness that we have been unsuccessful in healing. It has been a rather dark time, pun intended, with the loss of our moon.
Yes, we noticed that too.
We have prayed for guidance, but Charot has been quiet in the affairs that have been going on recently. I am concerned for the fate of us all, as those outside of the temple have been eating less. There have been cries from the merchants in town, concerned because their stock goes bad. Well, people do not eat, or eat less, at any rate. It is troubling. So, I cannot offer you much in the way of aid beyond bringing your friends to consciousness as well. Sorry for your losses.
Once we are up, I'm fairly certain if once we are up and about that we will be leaving this town once we are able. We will definitely mourn our losses, but I suspect that my group will not want to do it here if that is possible.
That is no concern of ours where you go next. But seeing what you have done for Redton, you are, of course, welcome here anytime. And he waves to the paladin, and the paladin goes and gives old Knell, Deacon, Akai, and Nibbs 1 hit point. So everybody's at 1 hit point now.
I think there's the possibility you may see more strangers. Some of them may be unusual, like the one you mentioned. So just please pay attention.
What happened? Why are we in the street? What happened to... Are we alive? Is everyone alive? And he's looking around and he's patting his wounded belly and whatever, looking around and kind of panic.
Yeah, I think so.
And Nibbs, you do note as you get up and look around that the bodies of Gorkle, Mileki, and Tempest are on the floor, and you also see two of Tyr's followers.
Okay, I will probably go to Maliki's body, and he'll just be like shock, and you have to. Can you bring her back?
No, that's not possible.
The archpriest shakes his head and says, "I'm sorry, little one. I only have so much power, and it had to be done quickly. So I brought back your friend here," and he points at Tia, "but the others I am unable to help."
He'll probably just kind of start sobbing.
Wynn's feeling fairly similarly about Tempest, but kind of holding it together.
Deacon is going to try and sit up, but he's going to try and use his broken arm and realize that it's broken and fall back down again. And then he's going to look around, make sure everyone's okay and alive, and go over and just kind of put his hand around Nibbs and just kind of hang his head too.
Ulnan would have tried to help Deacon up.
He grunts and nods at you in appreciation. And he's going to go over to, when he goes over to Nibbs, he's going to say, "We failed them."
No, it was me.
It wasn't you, my friend. It was me too. I had a head for that fight, just as much as anyone else.
She asked me if she should shoot, and I said that she should, and she did, and it cost her life.
Who did she shoot, Nibbs?
And he kind of points at the dead body of Tyr.
Tyr's dead body isn't here.
Oh, okay. Tyr. I think his name was Tyr.
I noticed his body isn't here. Was he recovered from the street?
The archpriest defers to his two brothers who are there, and the paladin looks confused for a moment and says, "It was a chaotic scene out there. We grabbed who we could and dragged them in here, and commoners were helping us. They came out of nearby buildings to bring in the unconscious and dead. It's possible Tyr's body was missed. I'll go out and take a look." And he heads out of the temple.
I'll look at the priest and say, is he still alive?
I don't know. It all happened so fast. There were so many bodies in the streets. It's hard to say.
He'll look at Tia and say, I feel strange. Like he had that quickening thing happen to him, right?
He did.
Yeah.
And I believe the quickening that occurred, you now have a fluent understanding of a new language that you didn't know before.
Do I know that?
Oh.
Yes. You know that some of your thoughts are in this new language, and you've never had thoughts like that before.
Strange things are happening right now, Nibbs.
Do I know what language it is?
It should be you know Celestial.
But do I know it's Celestial?
Oh, no, you wouldn't know what it's called.
I'll say something in Celestial, maybe a quote or something, and say, why do I know this language? What is this language? And I'll look at the party members.
I've got nothing.
Deacon is going to look at you, and in that language, he's going to say, I know this language too. Where did this come from?
You speak it as well?
It seems so. I never knew this before. I used to only speak English and bad English.
Does anybody know what language this is? I say in common.
No.
I'm going to look to the priest and in common ask, do you recognize this, what we just spoke?
Give me an insight check.
Whoa.
That'll do.
Just to confirm very, very quickly, the not everyone who has taken in a guest speaks have learned Celestial.
No. Deacon, before you even ask your question, you turn and you see the archpriest's jaw has dropped. But as you turn your attention to him, the look disappears from his face, and he appears calm and put together again. Before he asks, "How did you learn the language of the gods?"
I don't know.
No idea. Before I fell, or before I felled that last man, I think I felt something, and now I wake up and I can speak it, and I can understand it.
I don't speak it myself, but I recognize it from hymns, ancient hymns. This is very strange indeed that the both of you have had the same experience of awakening and knowing this language.
I agree. I have never had such an experience in my life before.
I don't feel much different beyond that. I don't know.
If I think about my things that I might have learned, would it come to my mind that I might know more about Merkel? Like, would I know that, or would I have to actually think about something about him?
You don't gain any knowledge of the gods that you've killed by killing them. You just have their essence kind of infuse inside of you.
I think he told me that I get a +2 for religion checks about him, right?
Oh, was religion was the skill that you got +2?
Yeah, but I think it was just about him. At least that's what I read. Maybe I got that wrong.
No, you get it because you infused his essence first. So the skill that you gain a bonus in is in religion. And then the second god's power gave you the ability to speak and understand Celestial.
Okay, gotcha. I'm going to, as I'm holding my broken arm to my chest, I'm going to ask the priest if they would have anyone who could do a good job of splinting this arm for me on hand. I'm no good at things like that.
Yes, of course. It would be my pleasure to help you any way I can. It will take some time, but it can be done.
I have been paying attention to the Archpriest of Shiro as he's been conversing with us.
Oh, good. All right. And it's not long after that the paladin returns. He comes in, he says, "I regret to inform you that the one called Tyr appears to have disappeared. I spoke with some people outside quickly, and they did confirm that there was another body and that someone aided in taking him away, but he did not come here."
So Tyr is alive then?
The impression that they had was that his dead body was dragged away.
So Tyr is unaccounted for.
Yes.
I killed him, didn't I?
Yeah, I think you did. I seem to remember he fell, but I wasn't sure.
And yeah. I asked that in character.
He has got no recollection of anything since she wasn't conscious for any of it.
I'm sorry, Nibbs. I was a little distracted to see for certain.
I think I killed him, and I think once he died, I felt something. If he was still alive, wouldn't that go away?
I don't know, friend. I don't know. This is all very strange.
With what we've been through, Archbishop, would you be able to suggest a good place for us to perhaps get a night's sleep before we go?
You're all more than welcome to stay here if you wish. There are a couple of inns in town as well, if you prefer more private quarters.
We might. I think we all have a lot to discuss.
I think we already have rooms at one of those inns, don't we?
We do.
And I knew that when I asked.
What should we do with the bodies of your fallen comrades?
Can we give them a good burial?
Mega and Luga come and stand before Gorkle and shake their heads and say, "No, we burn our dead. No burial in the ground.
Okay.
We will bury the others then."
I will take care of Maliki. She needs to be returned to the forest.
As you wish.
Deacon will go and help Nibbs take Micheal to wherever he's taken her. And just, if they're leaving now, he'll just shake his head at the dead gods and grumble under his breath.
Hovering over old Knell, I'm seeing he's still showing unconscious. Is that the case?
No, everybody should be at 1 hit point.
Oh, darn it. I was just typing to ask it. Yeah, okay. Old Knell up till now wouldn't have had a lot to add. I'm all for mourning our dead and taking care of them in a long rest. I do think that old Knell is also going to ask confession.
Sorry, you got really quiet there.
Sorry about that. Old Knell would ask the high priest taking confession. Old Knell could.
Yes, of course. I will hear what you have to say. Please come with me to a more private area.
I think all the party gets up and walks to the private area with him. No, I'm kidding.
It doesn't necessarily need to be RP out, but while they are gone, I'm going to try to engage the Paladin with Pharaoh in various and sundry trivial small talk conversation, paying attention to him.
Okay, no problem. Old Knell, the Archpriest takes you in the back. He says, "What is it that you need to say?"
First, I'd like a promise from you, if you would, Father, that you're not going to harm any of my companions based on what I'm about to tell you.
We owe you and your companions a debt of gratitude. No harm will befall them, I promise.
Sorry, I gotta help deal with a crying baby. Just give me 1 minute and I'll get back to it.
Okay. Ulnan, is there any particular topic of conversation that you'd like to discuss with the Paladin?
Local geography, points of interest around the city, any ruins or abandoned fortresses, or areas that there are old superstitions about avoiding. Mostly it's to do my memorizations, but I guess if I can get some useful information also out of it, that would be cool.
Okay. Give me a persuasion check with advantage. Yeah, 27 is really good. He opens up to you and speaks easily with you about Redton and the surrounding areas, about the mines. Redton mines ores and gems, which is why they had a diamond on hand to bring Tia back. There are also a lot of the word is escaping me at the moment. Tragedies isn't the right word, but people get hurt. People get hurt in the mines regularly. So the Temple of Shiro is usually quite busy, and they keep the Archpriest keeps a revivify ready to go just in case anybody loses their lives in the mines.
Unfortunate mishaps.
Yes, unfortunate mishaps. There's also in terms of fairly close by local geography, there's the Crimson Lake to the north of town. It's a bit of a journey. People used to go fishing there sometimes, but it is not a trek without any dangers. There are all manner of creatures and monsters in the woods at this time. They should be settling down as winter comes in. They just had an early snowfall here recently, but it'll probably melt soon. But it's a sign of things to come, basically. And once the monsters go into hibernation for the winter. The trek to Crimson Lake becomes easier, and the people of Redton will go out in expeditions to fish the lake at that time.
I also try to nonchalantly steer the conversation to, so where did those meteors hit?
Yeah, there was one that was to the north of town, probably around where Crimson Lake is. There were also a couple that fell inside of Redton, one in the north and one in the south end of town. And then they saw some to the southeast, further away, and some to the east. Those ones were the ones that would have been brightest in the sky for them to notice. And thinking about the geography that you know, Gold's Rest is to the southeast, as is Nordgard. To the east, Corpse Float Lake, where you guys were at the old Elven fortress. So those ones you already have pretty much figured out. Any other questions before we continue on with Old Knell?
Not that I can think of, no.
Alrighty. Old Knell, what would you like to confess to the Archpriest?
My companions and I haven't been completely truthful with you. This quarrel in the street that ended up in so many people dead, it all connects back to everything that's been happening. The various plagues and troubles, people being changed and feeling no hunger. It all comes together. And I'll be honest with you, Father. The reason why everybody's nervous to tell you about it is because it has to do with divinity and gods, and your God as well. Now, I'm choosing to throw in and trust you with this because you helped us, and because our own allies who would tell me not to tell you this are one and all dead. Has Shiro seen fit to tell you about the Gods' War yet?
No, Shiro has never spoken to me directly. Has never spoken to any of us directly that I'm aware of.
So without too much waffling or deceit, Old Knell is just going to factually lay out everything that we've learned so far about the Gods' War. He's going to be upfront and honest that a few of our fallen members of our party were in fact gods themselves, and that they were all mistrustful, if not downright hostile, to Shiro and the followers of Shiro, and that many of the fallen people as well were also what they would have considered deities, having been unshackled from their deific nature and sent back to fight it out. Tyr was a deity. Some of the people that fell in the other party were deities. And, maybe the head priest thinks that it's all sounding a little bit unhinged, but Old Knell is going to go on to say, the moon falling out of the sky is because the goddess of the moon died. They have these, magic objects that have fallen to earth. And the reason why you and your priests are, I think, unaffected probably has to do with your attachment to the divinity of Shiro. The reason why we're unaffected because we have these god items, and I want to help you and the people of this town by giving you this. And Old Knell is going to hand over his disguise kit, Lyra's disguise kit. And he's going to explain how he's been using it, that if you take a bit of the ink from it, you can mark somebody with a tattoo, and that seems to infuse them with enough divine power to inoculate them against the effects of the God War. And, he's going to maybe toss out a couple of other ideas, you take a bit of this rouge, you mix it with some water, you can get a new face. You take a few strands of hair off of this wig, you sew them into somebody's arm. It might cause a bit of an infection, but at least live, be free of whatever malady is coming. And if you're creative, you might be able to stretch this disguise kit to inoculate everybody in town, free them from the effects of this war in the hopes that when it's all over, they'll be able to rebuild. And I'm going to give up my disguise kit, Shiro, and beg of him to help save all the people in the city. And I'm just going to go on to say, I think me and my party are going to go on and continue this fight, hunting down evil deity. Maybe we'll work with good gods again, maybe not, I don't know. But I want to do this as an act of penitence to try and do some good, to shield the little people who are caught up in this fight, to help a community of people stand together against the coming darkness. Will you do this for me, Father?
You can see that he's rather overwhelmed by all of this, but he takes a deep sighing breath and says, "The path of following Sharo is not for everyone. With this gift that you have given me, we could certainly protect this town far better if it works as you say it does. I will do as you say and begin inoculating the people of Redton as best I can, and we shall see if we can stave off the effects of this God's War, as you called it. I am concerned that we were blind to this, that Shiro did not tell us about it. But perhaps it was his will that you would come to us and teach us about what is happening and forge new friendships. Yes, I will trust in the wisdom of Shiro." And he clutches the disguise kit to him and will begin helping the townsfolk as soon as possible with it.
I have removed it from my inventory.
All right. And note that will change your stats as well.
Yep, my deception skill has gone down as a...
Okie doke.
And
Whenever we get somewhere, all of us, just us, you guys will get the rant that I sent to all of you earlier.
Sent a rant? What?
Sounds good.
Check the private message board that Ryan doesn't know about.
Oh, right.
He has got thoughts and introduces herself as Wynn.
Oh, she's giving out her real name.
He is.
And another important thing is that you've also told us that you are now the substitute of Selune in the Gods, right?
Mostly. I can't win the Gods War, but I have accepted her position. Is that a good way of phrasing it, Ryan?
Yes.
So when asked, is this going to stop the moon from falling out of the sky? What do you have to say to that?
I have questions too, Ryan.
That's fair.
I don't have answers yet, is what you're telling me?
I don't think so.
Okay.
All right, are we done in here, team? Should we get our dead buried and go rest?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So I'll just explain I don't know how that works yet.
All right. So you guys head out of the temple. Mega and Lugger are going to take Gorkel's body between them and head out of town to go create a funeral pyre for him. What are the rest of you doing?
I'm going with the goblins to help dispose of the body.
Yeah, I'm going to go probably with Deacon to probably not in the same direction as the goblins, and because I don't really trust them, and go find a nice secluded glen or something like that to bury her in.
Okay. There is a grove in the middle of town here, but I'm assuming you're meaning outside of town somewhere?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna. What are you doing in the park? I'm gonna bury her. What? What?
So you do learn that there's only two ways in and out of town. It's surrounded by hilly and mountainous terrain. So the northern gate is normally closed off and well fortified against any kind of monsters that might wander down from the woods. And then there is the eastern entrance as well that you guys came through.
Well, I'd probably go the shortest direction to where I know there's forest.
Okay, yeah, that'll be out the eastern gate.
Okay. So I head out that way. And I just find, like, basically I'd probably build a cairn or something like that. Find a place where there's some rocks and stuff like that, where kind of scrabble out a small place and then bury her. And I'll take none of her things. Like, I'll just bury her and her things.
I will point out that the only real gear that she has is her leather armor. There is no sign of her longbow or Tyr's warhammer.
Yeah, I figured. Do I have any sense? No, never mind. Right. The other guy would know where they were. Am I sensing any god items?
No.
Okay. Yeah, so I find a secluded glen. We sit down, we make the cairn and whatnot.
Okay. So that's old Knell has gone off with the goblins. Nibbs has gone off with Micheal. What's everybody else doing?
Yeah, we'll attend to Tempest's funeral or burial or resting place, however we're doing that.
Deacon will help Nibbs out.
If Tia wants to, like, bury him in, like, where's Tia's thinking of burying him?
Alone. He was the only god that she knows of that behaved good from her perspective.
Right.
So, alone somewhere.
The temple does have some cold rooms in the basement where they keep corpses until the spring, and the ground is easier to dig. So you can go with the clergy down there, and you see that they lay his body in state and cover it. So
Would
that
he
it
have
will be...
wanted to be cremated? Does she have any idea?
Can give me a religion check.
No, I can't do those today.
Yeah, you're not sure, and you didn't hear him say anything about what to do if he were to die. So you're not sure what his wishes would be.
And Ulnan would have went with Tia. Win.
Ty's gonna go with Nibbs too, not just mostly because she's concerned for him going out of town into a glen kind of thing, just for support that way.
Okay, sounds good. So we've got Nibbs, Deacon, and Akai building a cairn. And is there anything that you guys want to discuss amongst yourselves while you're dealing with Micheal's body?
Can we go second? I was just thinking about that.
For sure. Old Knell, is there anything you'd like to talk to the goblins about while they cut down some nearby trees and build this funeral pyre?
We'll build the funeral pyre up. We'll lay him on top of the pyre. We'll set it alight. And then I think old Knell would say something about, his courage and his bravery, and how I knew that the goblins were trying to better than they were. And as far as I'm concerned, they proved it by saving all of us, because that's exactly what they did. They kept us alive in that fight long enough for the thief scared off by the town authorities. And I'm grateful for it. And old Knell is going to sort of get down to their level on his knees, and he's going to say, I have lots of regrets. I regret I'm not able to apologize to Tempest for the good work he was doing before his untimely passing. I wasn't mad at him for what he was doing. I was mad that he didn't tell me about it. And I am certainly not mad at you for trying to improve yourselves in your lot. You make me proud that for at least a little bit of time I was your boss. And I'm so sorry that you've lost your friend and companion like this. If you still want to follow us and continue on in this fight, you have your places of honor with. If you want to go another way, then I will release you. See fit.
Mega and Mugga look at each other, and they look at the fire, and Mega nods slightly and says, "You boss. You different from other bosses we have. You help us build pyre. You help us burn Gorkle. You care about us. We're not used to that. And where you go, we go. You still boss. We do right. We learn from Tempest. We learn from God. Be brave, and we be brave. We face this with boss.
I'm gonna pull them all into like as much of a hug as a noodle arm, like old Knell, and stay there for lay Gorkle to rest before we come back to town and go back to find the rest of the party.
Okay. Nibbs, Deacon, and Akai, you guys are dealing with Mylaki's body, building a cairn. Is there anything you'd like to discuss?
Well, I think when the cairn is done, that Nibbs will kind of stand up and take his like floppy hat off and cross it across his chest and say, "If you don't mind, I'd like to say a few words." And he says, "Here we gather in the embrace of the forest, under the watchful eyes of the trees. We bid farewell to Miliki, a child of nature and a guardian of the green. Miliki, whose heart beat in the unison with rustling leaves, whose spirit danced in the wind, and whose laughter echoed in the babbling brooks, has returned to the earth she so dearly loved. She walked in the woodland paths with gentle steps, a friend to every creature, great and small. Her hands, which once healed the wounded fawn and guided the lost birds back to their nests, now lie still. But let us not be swayed by sorrow, for Miliki's essence lingers in the whispers of the leaves and the fragrance of the wildflowers and the warmth of the sun that filters through the canopy. As we lay her to rest in this sacred cairn, we entrust her to the earth from whence she came. May the soil be tender, may the roots hold her close, may her soul soar high with the eagles. Farewell, Miliki, daughter of the forest. Your memory will bloom eternal in our hearts, those who knew you, as enduring, as beautiful as the forest itself." And then he'll kind of like bow his head in a moment in silence.
That was really beautiful.
Yeah, ChatGPT or Copilot is amazing.
I love it. If you don't have DM inspiration, feel free to take it. Same with you, old Knell, with the way you handled the goblins. Anything else?
If nobody seems like they're going to talk, then he'll just kind of, after a few minutes, he'll kind of turn and start to walk back to the town, kind of lost in his thoughts.
And throughout this whole thing, Deacon is just going to be very silent. He's definitely going to help. He's going to be respectful as Nibbs gives his eulogy. And but on the way back, as we walk back, he's going to look to Akai, and he's going to say, "You fought brilliantly back there, and I have to apologize. I put you in terrible danger. I let my rage get the better of me. I failed you, and I'm sorry."
I guess Akai's going to be kind of caught off guard and be like, "Well, I don't know how well I really fought. It was so chaotic, and there was so much going on, and I think we all did what we had to do with what we had."
"No, I started that fight. That man killed my brother, and I failed my brother. I couldn't best him, and I failed you. I put you in danger, and the rest of our friends. I feel awful about it. I just want you to know I won't do it again."
Okay, I mean, I appreciate your sentiment, but I really think that, I mean, I would have been doing the same thing if I was in your same situation.
"I appreciate that. You're very kind. You're very kind." And he's just gonna kind of put his hand on Nibbs' shoulder as we walk back, or if I can't reach that, maybe like, I don't know.
give him a pat on the back anyway.
Yeah, like a pat on the head.
Yeah. He'll, as he's walking back, he'll say something to the effect of, well, it seems strange that I just only met her, but there was something about her that just felt like home.
Yeah, I can understand. You're a forest dweller yourself normally, so she would speak to your heart, I would guess. It's a shame we failed her and Tempest and everyone like that.
Well, we'll have to fight on in their stead. I think that going after that Grumsh character sounds like he might be a kind of a bad guy, and I would hate for him to win the God's War.
I think the sooner we get this war over, the better.
Do you think maybe we could enlist the help of some of the Shiro Knights?
It does seem like they might be good allies. I was none too sure about them, but they've done nothing but right by us so far.
Well, I guess we'll find out when we get back there. Thanks, Sakai, for coming. You've been a good companion.
No problem.
Old Knell, as you are finishing up with the pyre and it burns low, you see a wagon coming up the road with 4 familiar paladins and a priest. The priest is driving the wagon, and when he sees you, he calls for a halt, and the 5 figures look at you and look at the pyre, and the priest says, "My condolences, friend. I hope that wasn't your partner-to-be."
well, there, my friend. No, it was one of my little goblin companions. His name was Gorkle. He was a brave and good little lad. We found the thieves and came off worse for it. A number of them fell in the battle, but I'm sorry to say, so did a number of ours. And I do have to admit, friend, we haven't been completely honest with you and yours. Before anything else, I highly recommend you travel to the main temple of Shiro and talk to the archpriest. He can tell you more.
That was the plan. We're headed to the temple to discuss the nature of the thieves, but you say they've left. We saw no sign of them on our way in. So they must have taken to the hills.
Seems likely, but again, please talk to the archpriest. What he says might change the priority of your orders and may affect how you see fit to carry out what you've been charged with.
Well, thank you very much for that insight. I'll make sure to discuss with him matters of importance that you mention. Again, I'm sorry for the loss of your goblin companion, and unfortunately, this is the way of things in battle. Often it's rare that one side escapes unscathed.
True enough. Makes you wonder how some of us can make it through this life the way that we do. Shiro favor you. Stay safe out there.
You as well, friend. And they continue heading on to the temple.
Back to the end.
Okay.
We have something we would like to do yet at the underneath.
All right. I was just going to ask you guys if you had anything you wanted to do. Wynn and Ulnan, what are you up to?
Wynn is pretty broken now that now that it's just us. She's been through the most horrible day of her life, lost a friend. She's devastated.
Ulnan looks at Wynn, and he pauses for a few moments, and he gathers his thoughts, and he says, "It occurs to me, it is uncertain whether we will find our way back here or not come spring. May I say a few words of Tempest before we depart?"
She nods through her tears.
And he looks at the Pharaohites who accompanied us down.
Okay.
He waiting for a response, basically.
She nods through her tears.
And this is your fault, Shane. Today we stand at the crossroads of loss and remembrance, grieving the departure of one whose presence shaped the fate of gods and men alike. Tempest, mighty god of war, has been called to the celestial halls of the warriors. And in this moment of solemn reflection, we gather to pay tribute to a being whose life was a testament to the valor and honor that define the very essence of battle. Tempest was not merely a figure of conflict and strife, but a beacon of strength and courage. His was a realm where the clash of steel and the roar of warriors sang of ancient traditions, where the codes of honor and the pursuit of glory were held above all else. Through the ages, Tempest stood as the unyielding guardian of the martial virtues, guiding both gods and mortals through the trials of war with wisdom and might. In his presence, we found the spirit of the warrior unbroken. Tempest was a commander, not by the mere force of his arm, but by the integrity of his purpose. And as Ulnan says that, he puts a hand on Wynn's shoulder. He led with an unwavering resolve and a heart that beat with the rhythm of the battlefield. His strategies were not just tactics, but lessons in perseverance and discipline, demonstrating that victory is earned not through recklessness, but through honor and preparation. We remember Tempest for his battles fought and victories won, but also for the peace he sought to achieve through strength. He understood that true virtue and valor lie not only in the ferocity of the fight, but in the wisdom to seek resolution and to lead by example. Tempest taught us that the greatest warriors are those who fight not for the thrill of battle, but for the principles of justice and the protection of the realm. To Tempest, we owe our understanding of the warrior's path. Through his guidance, countless souls found purpose and honor in the face of adversity. As we lay him to rest, we honor not just the god of war, but the ideals he represented. We honor his sacrifices, his leadership, and his commitment to a cause greater than himself. Let us not mourn merely the loss of Tempest, but celebrate the impact he had upon our world. Let us raise our voices in gratitude for the strength he bestowed upon us, and let us carry forward the lessons he imparted. May his memory be a source of inspiration, a reminder of the nobility that can be found even in the heat of battle. Rest well, Tempest. Your battle is done, and your legacy shall remain forever in the annals of our hearts and the chronicles of our deeds. Farewell, noble Tempest. We honor you now and always.
And Wynn just says he had honor. He showed true honor.
Okay. Also very lovely. I'm just going to go ahead and say everybody has been role-playing exceptionally well this session. I really like the way everything's unfolded with the mourning that has been happening for the fallen. So make sure you all have DM inspiration going forward.
Does that mean I have 2 DM inspiration? How do I record that?
No, you only get 1.
What? You already said I had 1. Now you said everybody gets another 1.
I did not say that.
Oh, damn it.
Valiant effort, though.
Yes, I just have to ruin a good thing.
Ulnan will offer Tia an arm to make our way out.
And she'll take it.
And on your way out, you would see that the priest that you ran into on the road, along with his paladins, have made their way to the temple. They don't recognize you, Ulnan, because your disguise is slipped. But the priest nods to Tia, or Wynn now.
He'll still go by Tia to them.
Okay. And he offers his condolences for your loss.
She thanks him graciously. She knows, and she pulls sort of her court facade back on and moves to join the rest of the group.
Okay. So everybody has said that they're headed to the inn, so that's where you'll meet up.
Nibbs just kind of like makes his way right to the bar, pulls out his thimble, places it on the bar, and says, "Fill her up, sir."
And he does.
And Nibbs starts to get drunk.
All right, fair enough.
He's had a hard day. He hurts.
So does Tia, and she comes in with her rant about all of the gods being problematic and wrecking the world and how we have to fix it, and proceeds to get drunk as well.
Yeah, Nibbs orders her a drink.
And Deacon is going to first approach Ulnan and grab his hand and shake it and say, "Thank you, friend. You supported me well in that fight, and I didn't deserve it. I put us in terrible danger, and you stood by me, and I appreciate it."
We have to stick together, or we are going to watch this God's war play out around us. and do my thall.
And he nods his head. And he'll go over to old Knell and say, "Friend, thank you. Your unbelievable bravery really showed in that fight." And he's going to look at the goblins as well and say, "As yours did. You're amazing, friend."
I mean, my boys did all the work. I spent most of that fight on my back. Rather shameful showing, I'm sorry to say.
I disagree. You stepped in when things got tough. And then Deacon's going to go and sit down at the bar and just get the giantest mug of ale, and he's going to cheers Wynn's glass and say, "I apologize. I failed to protect you and Tempest, and which was my intention. Instead, I put you in terrible danger. I just want you to know that I'm with you in this. I think we need to end this God's war as soon as possible."
They're a menace. They're a menace wrecking our world. We have to destroy it and save the rest of the world. That's the only possible option.
We do. And I even think, I think we should focus on the bad gods, but I think if these good ones are running amok too, I think we got to do something about it.
Tempest is the only, quote, good god that hasn't been willing to kill just like the bad ones. So I don't
agree.
really trust the whole good concept very much.
I agree. I admire his honor.
Me too.
He was a good man.
Me too. I'm sorry he's gone.
And I'll just down my whole mug.
Nibbs is looking at Tia curiously, as in like kind of, what?
You have a question?
You seem to imply that Maliki didn't have any honor.
You said she shot at another god out of nowhere as an assassin.
He looks at the bar keep and says, "Give me the bottle. I'm drinking alone tonight."
He'll exchange the bottle for some coin.
And he'll start walking up to his, how much coin?
A couple of gold pieces.
And he'll start walking up to his room. That's what I'm trying to say. He'll start walking up to his room and dragging the bottle behind him because it's probably very hard for him to carry it.
Okay.
If old Knell would just like to intercept and say, "Nibbs, lad, I'm sorry that Maliki gone. I know she didn't think much of me, and I was really hoping for the chance to convince her otherwise, and I'll never get it. I know she meant a lot to you, and you're probably hurting right now, so I'm sorry, lad, and just hope that you'll in the morning, because I think we're going to need you."
He's going to turn and look at you and say, "It wasn't Maliki, it was me. I'm the one with no honor. You should be looking down your nose, you should be looking at me. Maliki's dead, she can't defend herself." And then he'll turn and walk up the stairs.
Old Nell's going to cock his head at that and go back to Tia and say, "What the hell did you say to Nibbs?"
The same I've been saying, that the gods appear to have no honor, even the so-called good ones. Tempest was the only one we've seen that actually behaved in a way that I would describe as good.
Tia, I'm very sorry that Temp is gone. I know that we're fast. I feel very regretful for your pain, but whatever might be, maybe sometimes you're more sensitive to other people.
Sensitive to other people's feelings? I died today due to these so-called gods. I'm sorry, but I have no regret about that. Maliki assassinated another god. Is that an act of good? Is assassination now synonymous with good?
What if you assassinate somebody in the entire world? Is it an act of evil?
Let's find out.
No. If you want to talk in hypotheticals and throw stones at people, I'm the one in this party who probably has the most to be ashamed.
I'm just saying we should kill the gods, and I haven't seen them being good for our world. That Tempest was the only one that behaved in the ways that were consistent with what he said his values were. And I think we need to take them all out to restore our world.
You're not wrong, but your
Then
anger
why are you upset with me?
Because your anger doesn't give you the justification to treat other people with disregard.
I didn't treat anyone with disregard. I stated my opinion. And if you don't want my opinion, I don't know how I can be effective here.
I'm very sympathetic. I also feel the same way, Fibs. So you take what you need tonight, and I just hope that you're going to be here in the morning. Deacon,
I have a plan to kill the gods, and I'm hoping that all of you who want to participate in that are here as well.
Well, we'll talk about that tomorrow. Deacon, do those horns of yours mean that you're like Tia? You're like a beast god stand-in now?
I don't know about that. They grew, and now this thing's stuck on my head. That's all I know. I haven't heard, I don't know nothing about where any artifacts are, anything like that. I don't think this god really suits me, to be honest. I don't know much about him. That doesn't feel right.
Huh. Have you tried really hard to take the helmet off of you?
I'm gonna like pull on the helmet or the crown or whatever it is, and I'm assuming that it's just stuck on there. And then I'm just gonna shrug my shoulders. I mean, I guess I could cut it off, but if I need to wear a god item, I may as well just keep it on for now.
All right, well, I'll think about it. Just try and look after Taya. She's clearly in a bit of a state today. Good night.
Well, to be honest, I think we're all in a bit of a state today. So, good night.
And I think old Knell is going to walk on over to Akai's table, wherever Akai is hanging out, sit down and just say, "You want to be quiet together for the rest of the evening? Great." And companionably sit in silence.
She'll just nod and be like, yeah.
All right. So there's one housekeeping question that I have to ask before we move forward. When have you talked to the others in your party about the process that you went through to take Saloon's place in the God's War?
Whenever we get that time where all of us are alone, which I had thought was going to be tonight, but is not tonight anymore, that was when I was explaining that to everyone.
Okay, that's what I thought. I just wanted to double check. The night passes.
Ulnan is doing something over the night also, actually.
Oh, sorry. Yep. Go ahead, Ulnan.
He is buying one drink that he is nursing throughout the night, and he is wandering around talking to people, seeing what he can find out about what Tyr was about, the followers of Tyr, basically anything, background information of that cult that was forming.
Sure. Give me, let's say, persuasion check. All right. So you find that the people who frequent this inn didn't know so much about Tyr. The reason that they stay at this inn is at the outskirts of town. They wanted to distance themselves as much as possible from the mob that was starting to form kind of centrally to the town. But if you wanted to get more information on Tyr, you could try the other inn that's close to the market.
Ulnan will be gracious in his acceptance of the information, and yeah.
Tia would also like to do one thing before she sleeps.
Sure.
Tipsy and drunk as hell, she'd like to go outside and stare at the moon, or where the moon should be, and see if she can make the moon appear.
Okay. You stare at where you think the moon should be, and you don't see a moon there.
Can I feel the moon?
You can give me... make an intelligence saving throw.
I am trying. It's not coming through. I'm going to try it and forge. Well, that's almost my highest roll tonight.
Yep. You don't feel the moon at all.
Is this the time when we would be having a new moon, a full moon? What time of the moon should it be?
Oh, where'd my calendar go? I think I closed it. I don't remember off the top of my head. I can see if I can find the
If you
thing.
F5 your page, it might reload it.
No such luck. I know I have like a calendar, simple calendar. Let's see if I can load it. Yeah, it's not loading up.
Okay, don't worry about it, Ryan. You'll tell me later.
But yeah, the moon would be out at this time, so you would have been able to see it if it was still there.
And I can't make it happen now Can I try and commune with the power that kind of communed with me? Do I need to get the spark from the one who killed Saloon? Do I have a sense of that?
You don't have a sense of that.
Fair enough. Okay, thank you.
No problem. Anyone else doing anything before you go to sleep for the night?
I'm hopefully not passing out in a pool of vomit.
Well, you can give me a Constitution saving throw.
Maybe that's harder than it's. Hey, is it not rolling? Just a sec here. My beyond 20 is not doing anything. Oh yeah, never mind. I'll do it the other way.
That's strange that beyond 20 isn't working for both of you. Yeah, you get pretty drunk, but not to the point that you lose consciousness and vomit all over yourself. You manage to stay up drinking until you're ready to go to bed.
Before we go to bed, I am casting Cure Wounds on myself.
Okay.
And that is something I was unable to get close enough to anybody to use. So
That's fair.
Nice roll. All right. So wake up in the morning and everything's better. We just go about life like nothing happened.
Well, everybody gets 1 hit point plus your Constitution modifier back, and if you want to use any hit dice to heal over the night, feel free to do that too.
Yes, I will do that.
You said 1 hit point plus Constitution modifier, right?
Yeah.
I'm back
So
up
Wynn's
to
used
full.
to.
I'm back up to full, but I had to use my hit dice to the long rest.
Okay.
If I may, Old Knell would like the senior superpower of getting up.
That's fine. You can get up early.
Making breakfast for everybody. I'm going to break into this kitchen and start doing big old fry up. Whatever preserved meats they have, bacon or sausages, eggs, potatoes, cutting up whatever fruits or vegetables they might have, fry some tomatoes. It's going to be a great big breakfast for everyone.
Okay. Can you give me a survival check, please?
I liked the inn on fire.
No, but, the food is... everybody's eating better. A lot better. But I'll leave it up to everyone else to describe how you feel about this breakfast that Old Knell has put together for you.
Could I have assisted him with that? I'm actually proficient in survival.
If he would accept help in the kitchen, then by all means.
Yes, he would, because I think he was just a little bit too chagrined to say no to Wynn after she scolded him yesterday. Tia, excuse me.
She's trying to help make everything better this morning, too.
Akai's just going to think it tastes bad because she's still pretty injured. And maybe her taste buds got demolished in the battle.
I think you get to roll again, too, to see if you can do better than that, Jesse.
I am just picturing Wynn coming behind Old Knell and just prestidigitating each plate to make it taste better.
Not much. She hasn't cooked a lot, you see.
I imagine her as basically coming up behind him and just throwing salt on top of his burnt offerings so that it blends properly.
Spices are important. But yeah, she's got no clue how one actually does that well.
Yep. You guys make breakfast. It's a lot of food. And it's not very tasty. A little overcooked and undercooked.
Wynn is glowing about it until she tries some.
And we're gonna just sort of get everybody arrayed around whatever big table we have available. And that means everybody. So does everybody join us for breakfast?
Oh yeah, he's down there and he's looking sick. He's not feeling good.
I'll pass you a greasy...
I put a picture of him in Discord there.
Wynn offers the breakfast and says, it genuinely is a friendly gesture. I know it's hard to tell.
He looks like he is going to throw up at the sight of food and starts to kind of look around desperately for a bathroom.
And Shane, you sent that picture only to me, so if you want everybody else to see it.
Oh, yeah. Okay, sorry. That would make sense.
And so once the morning shenanigans are over and we've kind of made our peace with how bad this meal is, Old Knell is just going to kind of sit down and he's going to say, right, we have all lost something yesterday. We're all hurting and we're all a little bit raw.
So I just want to reiterate that we are all still united in trying to help the world by participating in the gods. To start us off in being united, probably in being angry at me, I would like to confess that I have told the priests of Shiro everything about the Gods' War and have given them my disguise kit in the hopes that they can help shield the people of this town from anything else happening.
And Deacon is just going to look over at old Knell and say, they would have figured it out eventually anyway. We may as well help as many as we can.
I appreciate trying to help the town. I wasn't certain how to balance that, and that feels good.
Right. Nobody's thrown a knife at me yet, so I'm going to say I think our next move is if Deacon doesn't want to try and fix that arm of his, I want to take us back to where we were going before we got sidetracked on these thieves and kind of giving a side look to Akai. I'm sorry, Akai. I know that your master wanted us to try and get these items back, but, well, if you're willing to stick with us a little bit longer, maybe we'll meet those thieves again. But does everyone agree that maybe there's another god not that far from here that needs to die, and maybe we want to go and take out Grumpsh?
I do agree.
I think we have to.
I believe he's a danger to these people. And yes, I do think my arm needs healing, and I'm not exactly sure how much I'll be able to help, but I'll do it my best.
Nibbs has his head on the table, and you can just kind of see his hands in front of his head, and one of the hands, a thumb goes up.
And Ulnan just nods.
Right.
I'll nod too.
We're doing good so far. So, I have a few ideas as to how this might come to pass. My suggestion would be that we head out into the woods and start looking for orcs. Try and take a couple of them captive. I think that with the right couple of lies and deception, we could try and lure Grumpsh to a place of our choosing, and then nothing like yesterday. No negotiation, no giving them a chance to talk. We pop up out of nowhere, we throw everything we've got at him, and try to put him down quick, is how I think we potentially handle it. I do have a few suggestions for how we could get him there and where we could do it, but the floor is open. Please, anybody come in with suggestions you might have.
I suggest we have this conversation on the road instead of hanging in.
I mean, we could. Does everyone want to take off? You had enough breakfast? Nibbs, you've hardly touched your sausages.
You just hear a kind of a dry heave from underneath the hat.
Wynn has really only picked at the breakfast as well. She's okay going hungry for a meal.
And Deacon is just chowing down, like he's fine. He doesn't care. Food is food.
Akai, you're still a growing were-tiger cat lady? You sure you've had enough? Yeah? Okay?
Yeah. Thanks for the attempt.
All right, let's get on the road.
Nibbs gets up and sticks up sausage in each one of his coat pockets and walks out the door behind everybody.
All right. So everybody's done everything that they want to do in Redton?
I think I'm good.
I got 7 gold, so I'm not going to be doing anything. But did we want to check out the market before we go for like healing potions and stuff?
I've only got 9.
Okay, does anybody have money?
We do as a group. Hold on.
Actually, now that I think about it, you know what?
1 gold.
I don't think Ryan's going to let me do a whole lot of reloading of my crossbows with one hand, which makes sense. So I wonder if I should be picking up a rapier so I can at least fight with, a finesse weapon, and I can still use Battlemaster maneuvers.
I was thinking about that a little bit too. And if you are in need of using your crossbows, we could. And Ulnan pulls out his crossbow and says, "We could give loaded crossbows to the boys to hand to you."
I was about to say, put the goblins on the loading crew.
It's a fine idea. Okay, Ryan, just as a housekeeping thing, can I, with my broken arm, still steady a crossbow to shoot it? Or can I only fire like my hand crossbow? Like if I fire it and then I give it to the goblins to reload it, and then I fire it again? Like maybe one every other round or whatever.
I would say that you can do the hand crossbow, no problem. But the big two-handed heavy crossbow, you're not going to be able to use.
And Ulnan has a light crossbow. Would I be able to use that?
Let me look that up.
I do believe you need, like it says to use it two-handed. So, I'm not sure.
I would sell it to get a hand crossbow for you. I will never use it.
Yeah, it requires two hands when you attack with it for the light crossbow, so you wouldn't be able to use that either.
All right. So I guess if we can afford another hand crossbow and I can just hand one off to the goblins and they can reload it for me, that probably would work. But I think maybe I'd like to get a rapier as well, just in case, because all I have is a short sword.
The party has just over 700 gold worth of stuff and things.
I think at the very least we should sell our stuff. If we have art and stuff like that, we should sell all that shit. And then we can buy the hand crossbow and rapier and stuff like that.
And there's actually some stuff that it appears I don't have values for some ornamental looking clothing and such.
That kind of stuff probably would have been 25 gold each.
Okay, so I'm going to sell my heavy crossbow. Do we get just the book value when we sell stuff, or is it depreciated?
It's depreciated. So you can give me a persuasion check to when you're trying to sell it.
I'm gonna look to Ulnan and say, "You were a merchant, right? Wonder if you can get some coin out of this." And I'm gonna hand you my heavy crossbow, and then I'll see if we can barter for a rapier and a hand one.
I guess Ulnan is trudging off to a merchant's.
You are just way better at it than me, so you may as well do it.
All right. So the merchants are all located kind of in the middle of town, and when you get there, you see that they're all none of them are standing up by their goods, shouting out, trying to sell it like you'd see in a normal marketplace. They're all kind of sitting, looking rather despondent.
So why the long faces? Business not good?
The merchant that you're speaking to starts as you speak and says, "Oh my goodness, I haven't had anybody come to my stall for a while. Oh, what can I do for you?"
Looking to sell some weapons in the hopes of getting some different ones.
"Oh, that'd be lovely. What are you looking for? What do you have to sell?"
Hoping to get a couple of hand crossbows and a rapier, and we have various and sundry pieces of art and a light crossbow and a heavy crossbow we're looking to sell.
All right, so you can do some negotiations there if you want to give me a persuasion check. All right, so you can get 60% of the book price for each used item that you're selling.
So the book price on a heavy crossbow is 50 gold, and the light crossbow is 25 gold.
We also have a bunch of goblin weapons and sundries.
Yeah, they don't want the goblin weapons. They're not good enough quality for them to be able to resell.
So we would have got 45 gold for the two crossbows, and then it would have cost us 75 gold for a rapier and another hand crossbow. So I guess we spent in total 30.
And selling everything else, we would get about 267 gold just so that we're not carrying it all, if that works for everyone.
Yeah, I'm cool with that. I think we need, I see in Discord we're looking for some healing potions too, because I think we used all of them.
Tia still has one on her, actually, but nobody was near her.
I would like to find a different merchant to have that conversation with.
I have a greater potion of healing on me as well, but I kind of feel like I used it.
I was just wondering, did the goblins use Tia's potion? Because they might have.
There was a point where they were using people's potions to bring them back up, but I don't know. I feel like we dealt with that during the combat, so they
yes,
would have been
I think
removed.
I had a regular potion too.
Yeah, so they would have used that on her.
Because now that you're saying that, I do remember doing
Oh.
bleeding.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't use that potion of healing. I was going to try and get to old Knell and give it to him, but I didn't make it there. Okay.
Yeah, and you were too far away from the goblins for them to be giving you a healing potion.
Yeah, okay. So in that case, I have one on me.
There is a Ulnan. You'd mentioned wanting to find a different merchant for that because she doesn't have any healing potions. There is another merchant that sells oils and elixirs, and they have 2 greater healing potions and 2 regular healing potions available in their shop.
Am I able to have a conversation with another role
Certainly.
as a new merchant?
Yep.
And I'm going to use my inspiration, actually.
Okay. 25 is a very nice roll. So you were trying to get a better price on the potions, I assume?
Yeah.
He gives them to us for free, right?
Not quite, but we'll knock 10% off the price just because business has been so slow. They're desperate for the sale. So they'll give you each regular healing potion for 45 gold instead of 50.
And that was 2 potions of healing?
Yeah, 2 potions of healing. And the greater potions would be 135 each. And the shopkeeper is very grateful for anything that you buy, and says that they're happy that they'll be able to go out and get some more ingredients and get to work again brewing potions. They've missed working at their alchemist set.
Just for giggles and shits. And just to make you roll on a random thing. What does the magic shop have?
There is no magic shop.
What? What kind of place is this?
There's no magic shop.
Oh, okay. Have we seen anything that looked like overly nice in any of the shops that we've gone through?
There would be some what you'd call master craft quality items. But if you're looking for any kind of magic items, no.
Okay. I think that's it then, eh? I think we can shove off.
I think so.
All right. So where are you guys headed to?
Rumptious house.
We're going to start heading into the wood. Old Knell is currently piloting us toward Inferno Citadella, the fortress where we had first met Maliki and Nibbs and Kai. So we're working towards Float Lake, I guess, for right now.
Okay. I do have to back up a step. What were your sleeping arrangements in the inn? Shared rooms, single rooms? How are you dealing with that?
I think probably shared. I don't think I really want to be alone in the middle of all the angry gods and everything else.
I agree with that.
Okay. So everybody in one room or splitting up between a couple rooms?
I'll let someone else pop in and offer an opinion on that. I'm good either way.
How big is one room that we can all fit in?
Well, it would be tight. Only a couple of people would get beds and everyone else would be on the floor.
I'm thinking we'd probably each want a bed, but...
Okay. So I'll get you to also remove 15 silver pieces from the cash, the party cash, to cover rooms and a meal the previous night. Additionally, who would have been in the room with Wynn?
Um,
I'm going to guess not Nibbs.
we might have a night apart. She's probably good with whoever. So if anybody would like to be in the room with Wynn, how about that person?
Are you noticeably worried about being alone? Like, would I have noticed that?
Yeah, we've had evil gods show up places. This is the spot where friends of the evil gods know we are. I don't think anybody should be alone tonight.
So in that case, I would definitely feel like if she wanted some protection, I would be there for her.
Awesome. So Deacon
Right.
is with Wynn.
Deacon, give me a perception check, please. In the night, you awake to notice that there's a small mote of light kind of orbiting over Wynn as she's sleeping.
I am going to go inspect it. Like, I'm not going to touch it, but I'm going to get very close.
As you get close, you see that it looks like a tiny, tiny copy of what your moon looked like.
And I am going to touch it. I'm going to see if it reacts to my touch.
You reach out and touch the moon, and it stops its orbit and falls onto Wynn and disappears, waking her instantly.
Deacon, what's wrong?
You had a moon orbiting you while you slept.
You saw the moon? And she rushes to the window.
No. Around you, Wynn. It's not in the sky. It was in you. Or above you.
Well, the moon wouldn't fit in here. What are you talking about?
Well, it was tiny. And I describe about how big it was, like with a hand gesture.
Oh, she is delighted that the moon is not necessarily lost. And can she remember any of the moon? Does she have any senses of any of this?
Nope.
I looked at it and it did nothing, but then I touched it and it fell into you, and suddenly you woke up. That's what woke you up. The moon fell into you.
Like into me, or did it disappear?
I'm not sure. Ryan, what happened?
It disappeared.
Okay, it disappeared then.
Well, that's promising. It means the moon isn't necessarily lost forever. I'll have to see if I can figure out what to do about that and how to make it come back.
Well, I'll let you know if I see anything. If there's anything I can do to help, I'd love to have that beautiful moon back.
Thank you. If you see it again, I wonder if it only happens when I'm sleeping. If you wake up before me, please check.
I will indeed.
It takes Wynn a little while to get back to sleep, though, because there's a moon and she's all excited and she's thinking about it.
Sounds good. Deacon, are you going to try to stay awake until Wynn falls asleep again, or are you going to sleep?
Yeah, I will try to. I expect he is pretty exhausted, though, so he may just fall asleep. But I will try to.
Okay. Give me a Constitution saving throw. Yeah, you don't make it. You pass out.
That's fair.
All right. 1 or a 2 is Wynn. 3 or 4 is Deacon. Deacon, you wake up first. When you wake up in the morning, you do see, again, this tiny mote of light orbiting Wynn.
And I'm just going to watch it. And I'll smile, too. And then, but I won't do anything. I'm going to let Wynn sleep while she can. And then I guess when she wakes up, I'll say, Wynn, it was back, just as it was before.
Does it stay there when I wake up?
Nope.
And disappears the same way?
Yes. As soon as your eyes open, the moon disappears.
Did Saloon have to be sleeping for the moon to come out? This is interesting.
This is very strange, but a good sign, I believe.
I don't know what to do about this.
Well, I'm not really sure we can do anything. I think we just, we just go along and do as we can. I mean, if you can come up with a way to bring the moon back, I'd love to hear it.
Me too. And once we leave town, she'll tell everybody about it. Or rather, ask Deacon to.
And I will. I'll describe it to everybody else as we're writing out, unless there's something else going on tonight.
There was something else. Whoever's sleeping with Nibbs, well, not sleeping with Nibbs, you know what I mean, wakes up to probably Akai probably is in the room. Akai, you probably wake up with Nibbs like nestled, kind of like on the blankets, between your legs, like a dog would sleep.
Whoa. Hang on. She's gonna pick him up by
towards
his
the
ear.
feet. Towards your feet.
Okay.
Yeah. Not up close.
Oh gosh.
But at the base of the bed, as if he was like cold.
How do you feel about that, Akai?
I'll allow by the feet. I won't kick him off. I'll pity him. Little drunk rodent.
Sounds good. So next day you guys do your shopping and then head out of town, and Deacon describes this moon that appeared over Tia or Wynn while she was asleep last night.
And Wynn will also explain what has happened with her and Saloon, the whole process of it, what she experienced, what she thinks we need to find for them. and how it interacts with the gods and the god items, etc. Everything that she learned, she shares. And I've written out a bunch of that in chat, so if anybody has any specific questions, but I think I added most of it there.
I don't see it.
That was in our channel a couple weeks ago.
Okay. Maybe we should put it in the chat so Ryan can see it, or?
Sure, I sent some of it to him, but Ryan wrote some of what I shared with you.
Oh, good enough. Good point. Thank you.
So basically, I explained how she'd had the communion with Saloon's power from attuning to the item. She'd had to make the choice of, was this the right connection for her, and did the item also feel the same way about the connection with Wynn? That there was some mentally challenging parts of it, and that she got a lot of knowledge about where Saloon's killer was, where all of Saloon's items are, how she is in essence taking on the role of Saloon for the Gods' War from the perspective of trying to carry that forward, but she's not going to turn into a god. And the gods will not censor the way they do other gods. And she thinks that we need to find items that resonate with each of you and have you do the same thing, and that we have to find the items for all of us once we've done that.
I agree. Who killed Maliki? Do you guys know?
I can't remember. I think it might have been one of the... Was it that bard that was chasing her?
No, it was Shades.
Oh, it was. Okay.
I have no knowledge of that. I'm sorry.
I think I was down when that happened, so I don't know that I would have seen that.
I'm kind of treating it like he kind of blocked out those kind of memories and stuff like that, even though I remember. But I was hoping that one of you guys remembered, so that the Deacon, that he could express a urge to, like, assist with your vendetta against Shades.
Well, I'll be honest, I don't remember how that played out. I would have to go back and look. Like, if he would have saw that happen, I definitely would have told you. But I just don't recall. I would have to go back and watch that thing.
Right, yeah. Oh, that's fair. Okay.
Yeah,
well,
I have a vague memory that it was fairly late in the battle that he took out Maliki.
It was right at the end, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't remember who was up and who was down at the time.
I was one of the last of us to go down, I think. As weird as that sounds.
Yeah, you were. So you may have seen something, but there was a lot going on there. So Ulnan, I'll give you a perception check to see if you would have noticed that.
I like that. Potato.
Potato. Nope. You didn't see when Maliki went down.
Okay. Well, then let's continue.
Okay. So was there anything anybody wanted to do with the knowledge that Wynn just shared with you?
I'm gonna have to go reread it, to be honest.
Yeah, me as well.
Ulnan says, I would be interested in trying to find the elements that belong to that halfling that I killed. I've been told that was not understood, so I will try again. Ulnan steps up and says, I would like to find the gear that belonged to that halfling that I killed.
The one in Nordgard, what was her name? Yondala?
Yes. I may not be best suited for her place, but I would like to ensure that her gear is in one spot safe.
Seems a noble cause to me.
But first, the one that's near.
But first, growth.
And we'll see what he has.
All right. So you guys travel. Now, are you heading down the road to the east towards the woods by Corpse Float Lake, or were you going straight into the forest to the north and traveling through the forest the whole way?
My plan would be to jump off the road at the first available opportunity, but if the party wants something else, Kai want to check in with her boss at Gorald's Rest, we can continue down the road, but I would think that we would go down the road and jump in the forest at sort of branch to head southeast to Corpse.
I mean, that sounds fine to me.
That's fine to me too.
Yep.
I'm good with it.
As am I.
Okay.
Oh, Ryan.
Yes.
So now that I'm a part bard. I can play the panpipes, but I don't have them currently. Could I have bought them from there?
Sure thing.
Okay. I just realized that. And okay, panpipes, pan flute.
I have a flute, if that's helpful.
Well, I took pan flute.
Oh, okay. I just have a regular flute.
Okay, it's only 12 gold. I'm sure the party can afford that, right?
Yep.
Cool. Thanks. And so on the days that we travel and stuff like that, as we're traveling, he'll kind of, as we're walking, start, playing softly to himself, kind of practicing with it and getting back in the groove, sort of thing.
Sounds good. So the first day you guys travel, I have to check something quickly.
And following the check-in, Knell, you had some ideas.
Well, I don't want to be too prescriptive or to step on any inspiration anyone might be feeling, but I feel that walking into the middle of an orc horde and trying to kill their boss is a tough undertaking, and so we'd be further ahead with luring Grumpsh to us. So I was rather hoping that once we hit the woods, we might run into one of his roving explorer bands and take some prisoners. Because what is the one thing that gods want more than god items?
To kill the other gods.
Exactly.
I have an idea for that.
Well, let's hear it.
Wynn, I apologize for what I am about to do. I mean no distress. Ulnan will walk around a cart, and when he believes nobody is looking, he will cast Disguise Self and take on the image of Tempest.
Oh,
Well, you're halfway there, Ulnan. So, do you think that there's some way that Tempest could compel Grumpsh to come to us? Do you think that there's some reasonable way that you could get him out of the horde?
It appears I still need a little work in this, but Grumps, you coward, come and face me in honorable combat and name a place.
And old Knell's going to finger point to Tia and is going to say, you know the most about the gods, I think, in our party. Is Grumpsh likely to accept a challenge to honorable combat?
Ryan, what do I know of Grunch? I think I have known something of him already, haven't I?
I don't remember off the top of my head. Can you give me a religion check?
I will help her as I had some new skill with that.
Is that doable, Ryan, or no?
Yeah, with advantage. So between the two of you, you recall stories of Grumpsh and Tempest not getting along particularly well, and you do think that Grumpsh would accept a challenge from Tempest in one-on-one combat.
Do I think he'll fight fair in that challenge?
Never.
Okay, I share both of those pieces of information.
We don't intend to fight fair either, so...
Just so we're prepared for it, though.
But calling him out, he's not going to bring his whole horde of followers with him, I suspect.
Why wouldn't he? Jinx, you owe me a beer.
You got it. Look, I'm not saying that you're wrong, but if I'm being completely honest, I'm assuming the absolute worst of the patron god of the orcs. And so, in order to sort of get on that level, I'm trying to do the worst thing that I could think of myself. I think that taking on the shape of Tempest is good, because I think that equals more into a different kind of scheme. That maybe we have someone who looks like Tempest, bound up and bloody, and we show it to the orcs, and we offer him up. Then when they go and tell Grumpsh that we have a god that he could take, he might be more inclined to listen to our demands, to meet us in an isolated place with very few of his followers around him.
That's just crazy enough to work.
Willing to try.
And further to that, what if it weren't Tempest making the demands? And old Nell's going to hold up his wrist and he's going to tap the snake bracelets on his hands, and he's going to say, Ulnan, give me your most pretty, menacing drow lady.
And Ulnan will look for a moment, and I will recast it myself.
I don't know what Syrah is supposed to look like, but neither does some backwoods orc. All hail the Lady Syrah, come seeking an alliance with his lordship, Grumpsh the Awful.
Oh, that's an interesting idea.
And if he agrees to meet her at a place of her choosing, not only does she maybe have some news about other gods about to get the drop on him, but maybe she's also offering up other deities for him to sacrifice. We can show them a beaten and bloody Tempest, and Ulnan, mind if I borrow your deception kit or your disguise kit?
I can be Our Lady if we want.
Oh, hell yeah. That's just fine.
He studies Ulnan very carefully. Yeah, I can make that happen.
I will hand over my disguise kit.
And
I would like that back, please.
Yeah, of course, mate. And I'm just assuming that this is like over a montage of like we're talking while traveling, and maybe we've stopped for lunch. Old Knell's going to approach a Kai, and he's going to say, "Right, glare at me like you don't like me and don't trust me."
Okay.
Perfect. And Old Knell's going to start applying like makeup and prosthetics to a Kai's face until like if Ryan will allow me to make a disguise kit roll, which I hold on. What stat do you disguise kit, Ulnan?
I believe it's charisma.
Yeah, I think that's right.
Okay, so I'm making a roll +5.
Is it possible to assist on that?
Sure.
Much better.
And so with a 25, I think Old Knell, after having done some work on a Kai's face, half of your face is still like unaltered, but the other half of you to Maliki. We have a couple of gods as a prisoner. We tell him that if he shows up with like only 6 of his men, he can have them for himself. If we see more coming, then we disappear, and he only will find out about it after we stab him in the back. That's how you get him to show up without his horde.
I think that's worth a try.
Do you think he'll bring all those god items with him?
I think the half dozen he brings will have them, yeah.
Okay, good.
But that's not the only part about setting an ambush. I don't know if we're going to meet any orcs between here and there, but the next time we're going to fight someone, it's going to be at a place of our choosing. Corpse Float Lake in that old elven fort, in that tower where we fought the goblins. There's something hinky about it. It boosts magic, makes it stronger. So what if they're coming to meet us inside and they have to come through our corridors of traps and booby traps and obstacles, and by the time they get there, they're tired, maybe even a little bit disoriented, and then we hit them with whatever magic we've got. We throw everything at them in one big round, empowered by the strength of that tower. No fair fights, just winning.
Sounds like a fine idea to me.
I like it. Let's see what we can do.
Okay.
Well, it's going to be a little more travel through to the woods, and we're going to have to change, to meet the situation, and anybody else is very free to jump in with other ideas about how they can use their own unis to make circumstances come out to our advantage. So please, anybody come forward with how you think you can help.
I can disguise the same way, and she points to the now appearance of Tempest. I can do that. I'm not as good at sounding like the person, but I can look like, if that's any help. I can also track things. Well, people, really. If I can hit them with one of my spells, I can track them wherever they go.
I can speak with the animals. If they're in the area, the animals will know.
That's helpful.
I'm also a good scout. I'm really good at hiding. I could scout ahead, talk to the animals, and bring back what I learn.
That's fantastic. And find a war band of orcs for us to ambush. Take some prisoners to send back to Grumpsh.
Any other ideas of things?
No, I like it. I'd say we find some orcs.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a great idea.
All right. With that plan in hand, you guys make your way along the road east and you get to the bend in the road. It starts heading south just as night falls.
I'd like to try to find us or maybe the survivalists in the group can spend some time finding a good campsite away from the road. I
can assist Old Knell on that.
I'm not proficient in survival. Somebody else
I
did.
am.
Okay, maybe you and I should do it, Nibbs. Maybe this would be our bonding experience.
I would give myself about a 3 out of 10.
And maybe you help me.
Okay, I'll help you. I can do that as a bonus action. Hey, that's not bad.
Yeah, 21's pretty good. You guys find a little ways off the road, a nice secluded campsite. You don't think you'll be bothered by anyone that you don't want bothering you over the night.
Always like that.
Well, to begin with, I would like to cast Speak with Animals on myself. And, well, you know what? I'm going to say I'm just going to scout the immediate area and see if I can find any animals to talk to and see if there's anything in the area. Is that okay?
Yeah, be careful, though.
I will. If I see anything, I'm running right back to the base, or back to the campsite.
Do you think you should be going alone?
Well,
And do you want me to go out and do that?
no, I can do it. It's fine.
Okay. I also can talk to them, too.
I'm small and kind of look like an animal.
I'm not very good at that.
Yeah, people might, overlook me.
Here, hold on. And she'll touch you and cast protection from evil on you before you go.
Oh, thank you. And with that, he'll, run out into the forest, and I'll just give you a stealth roll right now.
Okay.
Gotta get my character open. Just one second. Oh my god!
You
So you guys hear this like through the forest as I like stealth away. Give you a thumbs up. You're all watching me, going, "Uh-oh." But I'm determined.
They're all thinking maybe this wasn't a great idea. All right, you go stomping off into the bush, none too quietly, looking for animals. Can you give me a survival check?
Can I use my inspiration? No, I can't use it for that.
And not after you've
I'm just
already
kidding.
rolled.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. You find like a few small birds that flit around the trees as you make your way through, but nothing more sizable that might be more
I'm going to try
useful.
talking to the birds. I do know bird folk, so I'm going to try talking to them in bird folk.
Okay. They're not like sentient. So I feel like bird folk is for like sentient bird races. They'd have their own animal speak that you'd need the speak with animals to.
Well, of course, Ryan. I was just testing you. In that case, because obviously I couldn't do that because that would be for sentient birds. I will cast Speak with Animals and try talking to them.
Okay. What do you say?
Hi, friends. How are you this evening? Are you finding lots of food?
Yep. Lots of food. Get ready for cold.
Any bad guys around?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, bad magpies. Don't like them.
How about stinky orcs? And I'll kind of make like a orc walking pantomime.
Oh, stinky guys? No stinky guys.
No stinky guys? Okay. Well, I don't really have any seed or anything like that to give them for food, so I will wish them good luck in their storing of food for the winter, and hope that no bad magpies eat their young. And go back.
Okay.
Because I think that's what they do, so...
Yeah, magpies eat everything.
Sorry, Jodi.
That's okay.
I go back and say, well, I don't think I was very quiet. But I did manage to talk to a couple birds. They said that there was lots of bad magpies around, but no stinky guys. And I think they meant like orcs. So
That's good to know.
But, birds do get around, but they can be a little flighty in their memories. So, once they're past the immediacy of what they see, who knows if they remember or not. It's kind of, a crapshoot.
You want me to go look?
Well, if you want.
Okay. And Wynn very timidly creeps out of the camp.
Okay.
and sees if she can find any animals.
Survival check, please. You have a little more luck. Yeah. Aside from the birds, you do pick up a trail for some rabbits and hares. You also see some deer tracks.
I'll follow the deer, and when I think I'm getting close, I'll cast Speak with Animals.
Okay. Yeah, you do. You do find the deer. It's kind of off in the distance still, but you can cast Speak with Animals before you get there.
And I'll just say, I'm a friend. May I come talk?
It kind of spooks when it hears your voice. Turns its head towards you very quickly.
And I stop still. I make no forward motion at that point in time.
The deer kind of moves its head back and forth, eyeing you up, checking you out, and finally it nods a little bit. And
I'm a little closer, but I don't get within scary range at all.
Okay.
And I just say, my friends and I are here. We are looking for bad, stinky men, big ones. And I kind of describe orcs as well as I can. They would harm us, and we are trying to be careful around them. Do you know if there are any near or any other dangers that we should be aware of? I would really appreciate your insight.
Give me a persuasion check.
I would like to use my inspiration on this.
Okay.
And I will also offer some food out of my inventory.
Okay. The deer says that the types of people that you are talking about don't live on this side of the river. And that's why this deer is staying over here. Because it's less scared of the scary animals and stuff that live around here than it is of the orcs.
And the orcs, are they north or east? If I'm looking, like, I just point in a couple of directions.
The deer would gesture kind of east. Yeah.
Okay. And what scary monsters are here? Are there ones we should take precautions against?
The deer describes some giant spiders, wolves of large size, which you would take to be dire wolves. Those types of creatures can be found in the woods.
Thank you so much for the information, and let it know if it needs help and can find me. I will help. I appreciate the friendship.
Well, the deer appreciates the food.
And I head back to camp and let them know that we have a few things in the woods with us, and probably not orcs till we get further east.
You both well done on the scouting.
All right. Any more discussions that you guys want to have amongst yourselves, or do anything before we set up a night watch?
Try and commune with the moon again.
Okay. You can give me an intelligence saving throw. You don't feel anything.
Okay. Won't stop her from trying.
That's fair.
Is there any way to long rest in Foundry, I forget, without like healing yourself completely?
I'm not sure.
Oh, that worked.
Okay. Do we need to set up watch rotations, or do we have those?
Well, the last time I did a watch rotation, there were extra people in the party, so I think we should come up with a new rotation.
You make a good point, Ryan.
I volunteer for a watch.
I'd love either the first or last one.
I'm good with wherever. I could be in the middle.
What about the exact same watch pattern that we the gods now the goblin?
How about that? I don't know.
Okay. I will pair with one of the goblins.
Oh yeah. Right there. Everybody was paired up, weren't they? I forgot about that.
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah, you guys had a lot of people in your party.
Oh, then I'm fine with that. Yeah. I got a question. Do you only get back half your hit dice every day, or all of them?
Half with a long rest.
Okay.
Did Deacon share with everybody else the moons?
He did on
Yes,
the way
I
here.
did.
All right. Do we get a long rest?
Yeah, you guys can have a long rest.
Brian, during my watch, I'm going to watch to see if that phenomenon happens again with Win.
I think we all will.
It certainly does happen. Yep.
In the morning when we wake up. So you said we get our long rest?
Yes.
In the morning when we get up, Ulnan is going to walk up to Win, and he's going to say, so, what Deacon said he saw looked like this, and I'm going to use minor illusion to create an image of the moons that's swirling.
And she will ooh and ah. And again, Ryan, you can tell her if they match the phase of the current moon. She's trying to understand what similarities it should have and does have.
It does match the current phase of the moon.
Okay, so it's small and tiny. We need to grow it. Everyone, we need to grow the moon. Maybe after we deal with Grumsh, we can go look for some of Saloon's items and see if that makes the moon come back or get bigger.
With you, Panuras, would you mind if one of us tried adding some moon dust to it?
No, that would be a great idea.
Okay. So you guys try to add some moon dust to the moon while Win is sleeping?
Sure.
All right. Nothing happens. Deacon, can you give me a perception check? When you see the moon orbiting Win in her sleep, you do feel like it might be just a teeny tiny bit bigger than the last time you saw it.
I'm going to make a note of that, and then I will make sure that I tell her when she wakes up. Tell her, I'll say, Win, I think your moon is growing.
We'll have to pay lots of attention to that. Thank you for sharing. I really would love the moon to come back.
Me too.
But other than that, nothing of interest happens overnight.
Where am I in the watch order?
You are first.
So when I do my watch, I will get my 8 hours sleep after it, right?
Yes.
I would like to burn all of my healing functionality on whoever may need it before, or either right at the end of the night or during my watch. Or you can say no because you've already said it's a successful long rest and we got to safely.
That's fine. We can say that you did that.
So who's hurt?
I am not anymore.
I'm not.
Yeah, I'm pretty good as well.
Well, if you're not at 100, take him up on his offer.
I am at 100.
That is in fact pretty good. So I guess it didn't matter much.
Nope. That's okay. Yeah, so you guys wake up in the morning, feeling fine. Which way are you going to go?
I guess probably the way that the deer had indicated.
I think it was south and east, essentially, correct?
Yeah.
So take the road a little bit longer and then head straight east into the forest?
Okay. You guys travel another day down the road. Partway through the day, you come across a merchant's wagon. And the merchant and the horse pulling the wagon are just sitting on the side of the road, not doing anything particularly noteworthy.
Hello.
Oh, hello there.
How goes the journey, sir?
Oh, this trip to Redton gets longer every time I make it. Getting harder and harder for these old bones to make the trip.
What are your wares? What are you selling?
And where are you coming
there?
from?
Oh, just some food stuff. You know, Redton usually needs that sort of thing. Help them through the winter. I'd be bringing some ore back to Nordgard. That's where I came from.
May I
Gotcha.
make an insight roll?
And have you had an interesting trip, or has it been uneventful this time?
Oh, not too much of interest, really. Unless you count the fact that I couldn't find a single guard to hire to come with me. That was weird, but I haven't needed it up to this point. Just taking more breaks than usual, I guess. Seems my horse needs it too. She must be getting too old for these trips.
Ryan, does this guy seem to be affected by the ennui or lack of interest in doing and eating? If I had to make an educated guess?
Give me a perception check.
I'll help her with that. I'll make my hands into two little binoculars for her to look through.
Take the 5 if you don't accept the help, and the 17 if you do.
Yeah, no, you can't. I don't usually allow help on perception. It's kind
That's
of
fair.
an
Yep.
Neither do
individual
I,
sort of thing.
but sometimes they get by you.
Yeah, so you don't really notice anything outwardly about the merchant.
Or the horse.
Or the horse, no. And it, yeah, you don't notice anything.
Fair enough. And he said it the opposite way of us, right?
Yep.
So what did you say that he had for merchandise?
Food.
Oh, right.
Well, I hope you have a safe travels. We're headed in the opposite direction. We didn't see anything interesting where we came from, so I wish you a safe journey.
Thanks. You too. Yeah, just be careful when you get to Nordgard. Sounds like there's a little bit of sickness going around there. People not feeling very well, sick to their stomachs and such.
Oh, that's not good.
What's causing it?
No, I don't know. It was just a few people when I left. I figured better to get out of there sooner rather than later. Seems I avoided it, whatever it was.
Well, I'm glad to hear that, and I hope it doesn't spread.
Yeah, we got enough to deal with without some kind of plague or something breaking out.
Yeah, definitely. A disease, you say?
Some kind of sickness, yep.
Oh, Ryan, give me 1 second.
Sure thing.
I'm trying to look up Talana, goddess of poison and disease. Did you see any interesting new people in Nordgard? Can I describe Talana?
Do you know what she looks like?
I'm not certain. You told me I had, whether it's my personal knowledge or the knowledge of Saloon, I do know all about Talana, goddess of poison and disease. So I didn't know if that would include what she looked like.
All right, yeah. You can give a general description. And I'm going to roll something here. From your description, he gets kind of a strange look on his face. He says, it does sound a little familiar. I think I might have seen her in town before I left.
Thank you so much for sharing that. Nordgard's not going to be a safe place to be for a little while. I would suggest not heading back to Nordgard. She is not interested in the welfare of others.
Well, how long should I wait? So there's no law enforcement. No guard's going to stop her. Like I said, I couldn't even find one to accompany me on my trip.
I'm hoping we'll head there after we finish some business shortly. But I would stay away for a while.
All right. Maybe I'll just spend a few extra days in Redton. See if there's any festivities going on there.
Maybe see if you can deliver your ore to a different city as well.
Nordgard's usually got the best prices.
Your life is worth a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I could find my way around town and head out the other way, but, towns outside of Nordgard on the other side tend to do mining too. I don't know if they've got the same types of ores, but I guess I could ask around Redton, see if anybody there knows better than me.
I just know that plague will likely be fairly potent.
All right. Well,
Ulnan is going to look at the group and ask quickly, y'all mind if I sit my card for for a spell once we get going again?
Good with me?
I'm going to attempt to cast lesser restoration on both the horse and him.
Okay. You cast it on both of them, and it doesn't appear to affect either of them in any way. They're both still looking pretty road weary, even though it's fairly early in the day when you run into them.
Okay, thank you.
Can anyone in our group detect disease?
I take that as a no.
Okay, I ask him if he will spend 10 minutes sitting, and I would like to cast Detect Magic on him.
He's happy to sit longer. He's in no rush to go.
And does she show any signs of any magic, or does he source?
Nope, you don't find any magic anywhere around them.
Okay, I wish him well.
And he does to you as well.
Do I think he looks sick? Are we sending a sick man to kill off another town, or should we keep him here with us?
Well, you already did your perception check and didn't notice anything untoward about him.
Okay, so I think he's good.
Yeah.
I mean, are these worries with anybody? Like,
Yeah, I'll share everything, and that I think Talona is there. She is poison and disease. She's the one who killed Saloon, and I'm asking if we can go there after Grudge, because I think it's going to be a real problem in Nordgard.
Well, I 100% agree.
do you think it's worth deviating and going there first?
Which is closer, Ryan?
Well, I would say Nordgard is the easier travel because it's down the road a few days. You know that going to the Citadel will take a few days, and then you have to find a way to cross the river, and then who knows where the orcs are on the other side of the river.
Then when we'll say yes, simply because many of the people in Nordgard will die. Talona won't care for their lives.
I'm willing to accept that we left something behind in Redton and help, so I'm willing. This is kind of the let's be flexible moment, and that rushing to Redguard's aid or to Nordgard's aid legitimate. Sound off, everybody.
I think we should definitely help those people. If this lady of disease is in that town, I can't imagine the mess she can create.
I met most of you trying to save Nordgard. Abandoning them now seems like it would be counter to that goal.
You look at Akai.
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, there's only one other challenge. Do you remember me telling you all about Saloon and her powers? Talona's the one that killed Saloon. I would really like to have Saloon's powers resting back with me, which means somehow I need to be the one to be able to kill her. If we can manage that, that would be wonderful. And if we cannot, then we will just have it split between us, because I don't believe there's any... I know of no way of passing it voluntarily.
Well, I think we can do our best to try and get you that last hit on. Shouldn't be too bad.
We shall see what we can do. Let's go try and save Nordgard again.
Ulnan will climb into the back of the cart.
All right. And what's Ulnan doing in the back of the cart?
A short rest.
Okay. Yeah, that's no problem.
Where is Nordgard from here? I can't see it.
Southeast.
Okay. I see this tower here, but...
Oh, maybe it's because you're on a different token than when you were in Nordgard, because you used to be playing Skippy. Not Skippy. Sparky.
Yeah.
S names.
Yeah, so confusing, Shane.
One trick pony, what can I say?
So you guys travel the rest of the day, and yeah, you're not at Gorald's Rest yet. Still a ways away. What would you like to do?
Tia wants to keep pushing on, but will actually respond to reason when people say we should stop and sleep. If anybody says that.
I'm good to push.
How far away is Nordgard still?
Let me measure. 84 miles as the crow flies.
And we're doing 30 a day, is that right?
24.
24, okay.
So maybe if we push it 3 days.
Do we have any kind of a guesstimate of how far we are from World Rest though?
You're about a half day away still.
I mean, I think we have a sense of urgency. Why not push it?
Yeah, I mean, I think we should push it till there's one level of exhaustion.
I'm in.
Because the one level of exhaustion will be slept away during the night, right? So.
Yep.
Okay, that works.
All right. Let's roll what? Constitution rolls?
Yeah, the mules will make some con saves here.
Us to you?
Yes, because you guys are traveling. The first difficulty that you're looking for is a 10.
Oh, I keep rolling for the cart. Oh, jeez.
I did mine for my character sheet and it came up card also.
Weird.
Probably because it was selected.
Oh.
I rolled as the cart as well. That 20 was me. Don't add 5, add 1, so it should be a 16.
Huh. Okay. That's very strange. All right, old Knell, you are feeling a little bit tired with the level of exhaustion.
If old Nell shares that, we'll encourage him to get in the cart.
I mean, I'm the one driving the cart.
Oh, yeah. Okay, we'll do what we can then.
Doesn't even disadvantage my save. Let's press.
All right. You go for another hour. More Constitution saves, please. And Old Knell, also give me a driving check at disadvantage, because that is a skill check that is affected by exhaustion.
Trait for that driving. I have one in mind.
I think it's wisdom.
Okay, the 12 cart roll should really be an 8 cart roll for win.
Jodi, if you oh right, sorry, you said something about unselecting your token. It was still doing it, right?
Yeah, it's just got the cart selected.
Yeah, if you unselect the cart by just like dragging a box somewhere away from it.
Okay, awesome. I'm going to roll one as a test right now.
Yep.
How do I get my character now?
Oh, go to the top right. There's a actors tab, like where the combat encounters are, and then actors is a little dude, and look under second gods for PCs.
Awesome. Win showed up as win. Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem.
I already did one where I failed, so that's not an additional one where I failed. That's just my natural good one.
Gotcha. Yeah, you guys are tired. And Old Knell, was that your first roll for the driving?
The natural one was my disadvantage ability check, but at least my con save was good.
Oh dear. Okay. The cart rolls off the road and crashes.
Crashes! Okay, we should stop going.
I think we should stop now. This is probably good. Right here. Let's just cap right here. Right where the cart is broken.
Okay.
Yeah. That's the mules are going to take a little bit of damage as they're dragged off the road by the cart.
Poor mules.
Fortunately, they are both still alive, as they have 11 hit points, and one took 5 and one took 7. As they got dragged down, and they're screaming in pain and confusion, as they hadn't even realized they were being driven off the road until it happened.
I cast Healing Word on the one with 5.
Okay.
Poor dude. Is everyone okay?
I cast Healing Word on the one with 5. Might as well make one good.
Okay. Yeah, one of the mules is perfectly fine, although still panicked. Physically, it's fine. Psychologically, it is very afraid of what's going on right now.
I cast Speak with Animals and try and calm it down.
Okay, give me a persuasion check.
Not my area of expertise, but sure.
You managed to persuade the mules to settle down and that everything's going to be okay. You guys will get everything fixed up, and they do settle down. You get them all healed. I see Ulnan throwing around some healing lights on the mule.
It was not behaved super well, and then it was all of a sudden. So I'm gonna heal up the one that wasn't fully healed yet.
Okay. So you got one extra hour of travel tonight before you guys crash the cart during the second hour. You've healed the mules, got them detached from the cart. So they're fine, they're calm. What would you guys like to do now?
See how bad the cart is?
Yeah, it's gonna need some fixing. It's in pretty rough shape.
Is it still like, can we get it into Gorold's Rest?
I mean, you can drag anything with mules, but it's not gonna roll in.
How much is a cart?
Kinda.
A cart is 15 gold.
Well, a cart is 15 gold, but this is a full-on wagon.
Yeah, you had a wagon. That's 35, yeah.
Is this where we get dysentery and die?
I don't want to do that yet.
Yes.
Not Oregon Trail, buddy.
Well, regardless, I'm pretty sure we're all going to sleep at this point, right? Like,
camping tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just camping where you sit?
No, let's move off we'll leave the cart there, or the wagon there, but we should try to find a less obvious place.
All right. Survival checks to find a good resting place.
Will you help me, Nibbs?
Yeah, I'll help her. It's a bonus action. You need my help.
Yeah, so you head off the roadways and find a good sheltered spot. It even still gives you line of sight on the cart for those of you with dark vision. So you feel pretty confident this is a good spot to sleep for the night.
Excellent. Okay, same watch order.
Yeah.
And I would like to commune with the moon again.
Intelligence saving throw.
Nice.
You don't feel anything.
Okay, that's all right. Not giving up. I'm focusing on the moon, and I'm going to ask if anybody is awake while I'm sleeping, if they can compare the size of the moon tonight to last night.
All right. Anything else people want to do tonight?
I don't think so.
Just another double check. Everybody's at full health.
I
Yes,
also
sir.
do. Oh, go ahead.
No, I just said, yeah, I'm at full health.
I do want to do one other thing, Ryan.
Sure.
Since the artifact that I've got on, or the item that I've got on, kind of commune and talk to me before, I want to share with it kind of what I think's happening in Nordgard, and that I think Talona's there and we're heading there.
Okay. You are just saying that to the magic item?
Yeah, in my communing time, I am thinking of Saloon, I'm thinking of all of this, and thinking of righting that wrong. Because I think Talona's doing damage in Nordgard.
Okay. Yeah, there's no response from it.
That's good. How did I get a response previously? Just during the tuning process?
Yeah, it was through the attuning process.
Okay. And taking it off and reattuning is probably a silly idea?
Probably, yeah. All right. So that night, you guys do see a tiny moon orbiting Wynn again.
Are you checking
the
size?
Is it tinier or bigger or the same?
If it is bigger, it's not a whole lot bigger. It's still roughly the same size, but maybe a little bit bigger.
And I'll communicate that to Wynn.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Also, did the moon's phase change?
Slightly, yeah.
Okay.
It's still what you would expect the real moon would have been. So it's like the progression of the phase change is so slow that you don't really notice it night to night. But if you're specifically looking at it to determine that, you can see that it's just ever so slightly different. And in the night, you do hear the howling of wolves in the distance, in the woods.
How dire.
The mules do appear to be unsettled by the sound of the wolves in the distance.
Do the wolves sound like close to us, or are they just like way off in the distance?
You'd guess pretty far off in the distance still.
While I'm on my watch, I would just, as the mules are getting riled up, I would go and try and calm them down. Like scratch their necks and just see if I can calm them down.
Okay, give me an animal handling check. Did you hear me ask for an animal handling check?
Yeah, I rolled it. It rolled a 14. Shows it on my screen, anyway.
Oh, that's weird. I'm not seeing it on mine.
Might have to refresh your screen.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a 14. I don't see the dice roll, but the check came.
Okay. That is a success. You managed to calm down the mules, and they stop freaking out. Oh yeah, there it is. Oh, and the phase of the moon, since my calendar came up when I refreshed, it was full the previous night. So it is not quite full tonight.
Awesome.
But otherwise, nothing of interest happens through the night. You wake up in the morning.
Well, friends, what do you want to do about this cart? Think we can drag it into Gorald's Rest?
Wynn's pretty smart at figuring out things. Can she see whether we can drag it there easily?
Yeah, you're sure the mules can drag it. It's just going to be slow. Like what would have been a half day's travel is going to be a full day's travel to get there.
Is there any way we could try and fix it up enough that, it'll speed that process up?
Do you guys have any tools?
I do.
What kind of tools you got there, Nibbs?
I got wood carving tools.
All right. Yeah, I'd give you a check with those. Are you proficient with them?
Yeah.
Nice.
That's handy.
So that would be what? Dexterity or wisdom?
I would say either intelligence or dexterity. One of those.
I'll do dexterity.
Okay.
So I would get +2. Yeah, +2 on this. Oh, whoops. Yeah. Oh god.
Yeah, it's a bit more complicated of a fix than you think you can do on the side of the road, Nibbs. You give it your best, but it's going to need some real repairs.
Well, I'm sorry, guys. I think we got to leave it. If we're going to get to Nordgard, in a hurry, we're going to have to leave it.
How do you guys feel about that?
Is the people in Nordgard worth 35 gold?
Not to me.
Right. Me neither.
I'm going to just look over to old Knell and Ulnan and say, well, I guess it's really your wagon. What do you guys think?
Do we have old Knell at the moment?
Conversations happening in the background. I'm good.
The question was more about the fate of your wagon and whether you want to drag it to Gorald's Rest to get it fixed up or abandon it on the road.
If everybody's okay with taking it to Gorald's Rest, I'd fix. I think it answers a lot of questions. Like, if ever we're confronted with how are you carrying your provision wealth, well, we've got a wagon. It allows all of us to ride in a hurry and get places. So I'd like to try.
I think we're thinking of getting it replaced in Gorald's Rest.
Yeah, just buying a new one. Because it's going to cost us half a day of travel.
We've got gold for it? Fine. Let's just leg it and get a new one.
Yeah, because I think we'll get to Nordgard faster. So.
And I liquidated most of our big stuff when we bought our crossbows.
Yeah, set it on fire and take off.
All right. So you guys travel half a day down the road and get to Gorald's Rest. You do note as you arrive in town that there does appear to be more carts and wagons here than the last time you were here. So it probably wouldn't be a problem to find a new wagon to buy.
Excellent. Do you think somebody who knows about buying wagons could pick us out one?
I want a red one.
With a racing stripe.
Are there any that look like they're predominantly empty?
They've all got goods in them of one kind or another.
Do we know why there's so many empty right now? Or so many available right now?
No. You just got to town and see that there's lots of wagons and carts in the middle of town.
Can we do some asking around?
You certainly can. I'll bring us to the map.
Before we go too far, I'm starting to reach my
Fade a bit?
Yeah, we can just be quick here and just about done.
Okay.
All right. So you guys get into the center of town, and where would you like to inquire about a wagon?
Is there a Wagons R Us?
No, but you see quite a number of them outside the inn.
Let's ask at the inn then.
All right. Insight checks as you guys go into the inn. That's a lot of good insight checks.
Split rolls, folks.
You guys note as you enter that the mood in the inn is very different from the last time that you were in town. It's very quiet. People are looking at you rather nervously from their tables. Nobody's there's no food or drink on the tables or anything. People are just talking in hushed tones, and as you come in, it kind of goes quiet. People stop talking and they're eyeing you up.
Is there anybody we recognize from our last trip?
Probably, yeah. You'd see some people that you recognize, and also a lot of newcomers. Like, the place is pretty full, and you would note that there are a fair number of merchants sitting together at tables.
Anybody that looks like a god person?
No.
Okay. I'll strike up a chat with somebody that I met before and see if they can tell me what's going on. I'll buy them a drink.
They kind of wave off the drink. Not really interested. But I'd say that a bunch of merchants were heading to and from Redton, and they just stopped in town and don't really feel like moving on. A lot of people complaining about the trip being too long, being too tired. They just need to rest for a few extra days in town. They're not buying anything, so it's not bringing any additional income to the town. It's just mostly a feeling of unrest and people feeling a little worried about, straining supplies in the town before winter.
Where did they all come from?
Some Redton, some Nordgard.
Can I see if these ones look like either the malaise that people were previously feeling, or if I think they've got the disease that we think might be Nordgard?
Sure. You can give me a perception check.
Nibbs is ready with his goggle hands.
Yeah, I suck at this tonight.
You can just roll your own perception check if you want.
Oh. That's persuasion. Hold on. Oh, no.
Doesn't matter. It was still a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys don't really know. Like, it doesn't. You don't really see anything of note with any of these people. Ulnan, you think they might look kind of similar to the merchant that you met on the road. Like nothing outwardly wrong with them. They just look tired.
And nobody's complaining of an upset stomach?
Nope.
I'm gonna pick one at table, and I'm gonna sit down, and I'm gonna ask, how long you been here?
Got in yesterday.
When do you think you're moving on?
I don't know. This next leg of the journey is so long. It takes like 3 days to get to Redton at a good pace. And they build towns in between to make travel easier, especially now that the snow's starting to fall. Well, what can you do?
What do you got left? What are you selling?
Well, I was bringing up some food to Redton.
Make you deal. What would you have made going to Redton with what you got in your cart?
About 15 gold, I reckon.
What if I offered to save you the trip, but there'd be a small additional cost to it?
I'm listening.
I'll give you 50. Actually, I'm going to back that up. If I was going to say I would buy your cart full off of you right now, what would that cost me?
50 gold.
At that point, Ulnan's going to lean into it a little bit about, save me a trip.
Give me a persuasion check.
And it'll bounce over at some point like the previous ones did. It's a 13.
All right. That's true. If I could get back home to my family back in Nordgard. Although, probably still stay here for a day or two just to rest. 45 gold.
Anything on you want to take back home with you?
Pardon me?
Is there anything on it you would like to take back home with you when you get back to your family?
Oh, yeah. I've got a pack in there that I'll grab out of it. But otherwise, the food and the wagon's all yours.
I will give him 45 gold. And I will beg for forgiveness from the group later.
That's fine.
All right. What would you guys like to do now? You are the proud new owners of a wagon full of foodstuffs.
I think we're headed to Nordgard.
All right. You continue your travels and get another 12 miles today. And I think that's where we'll leave it for tonight. Just before nightfall, you guys are set to make camp. And you're about halfway to Nordgard.
Sounds good.